In 2002, my dad and I started a service and repair business serving our local farmers. We started as an S Corp with 4 officers, my dad, my mom, myself, and my wife. Last year, we did about $3.9 million in billing, and this year we've billed about $3.5 million. We have 12 employees, including the 4 officers. And how do my parents step out of the corporation and retire without doing a stock redemption plan and my wife and I incurring business debt?
What's the profit on the $3.5 million?
$600,000.
Are you 50-50?
Yes. We started 50-50 and have been the whole time.
Okay. So what would you value 50% of the business at if they own 50%?
We did an evaluation, and we evaluated the whole business being about 4.1, and so half of that would be 2.05.
Who did the valuation?
My mom, one of the partners.
Okay, she's wrong.
So that was just done off of an average of our billing and our net profit over the last.
Yeah, your net profit's $600K. The most the business is worth is 4 times that. 4 to 5 times that. That's the most it's worth. So she's overvalued it by about $1 million.
Okay.
No one is going to buy a small business at the cap rate that she's got this at.
Right.
You could not sell that business for $4 million in a million years.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing we got to do is solve the valuation problem. Then we get back to, okay, so $600K times 4 would be 2.4 times 5 would be $3 million. So it's worth between 2.4 and 3, somewhere in there. So if we call it 3, and you could buy what does it take for you and your wife to live at home? What's your living expenses?
Living expenses probably $4,000 a month.
Okay, so $50,000 a year. So are you guys pulling any salaries out of this, or are you just living off the profits?
Yes. No, we're pulling salaries.
How much are the salaries?
About $8,500 a month for each, for me and my dad.
Okay, so you're pulling $100,000 in salaries, and now does the $600K occur after each of you pulled 100 or before?
After.
Okay, so it's actually making, if the owners took nothing, we've got $800,000 to play with here. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, the way I would do it is I would say, all right, if Dad and Mom are at home and they're retired and we are buying them out as fast as we possibly can, that now adds $100,000 because your dad's not there anymore to the equation. And so instead of 600, I have 700. I'm still getting 100 to live on. So I've got 700,000 if Dad's at home retired to buy him out with. Is that right?
Yes.
If you give him the whole 700 for 3 or 4 years, you would be done.
Right. Right.
That's
but what kind of tax implications would that put on them?
He's making a profit of $2 million. He sold a business for $2 million. He's going to be taxed.
Right. Right.
Yeah. You have taxes every year on that. That's income. Because I assume your basis in this is zero. You started with a truck and some tools, right?
Yeah. Well, we started with a $50,000 loan.
Yeah.
Okay. To build the shop.
Yeah. So you're his base. He probably doesn't have a basis against it right off. Yeah. And that would be true if it was an LLC, and it would be true if it's a sub S. That doesn't matter on that part because the bottom line is he's selling a business he's having a liquidity event of $2 to $3 million. And so he's going to pay taxes over a period of time, in this case, on $2 to $3 million. There's no tax-free way to do this.
Okay.
Because just like the 100,000 that you're paying yourselves, and for that matter, the 600 is passed through. You guys are paying taxes on the 600 too.
Yeah, we're paying a ton of taxes.
Yeah, you're getting killed.
Yes,
welcome to small business. Yeah.
Right. So when I buy them out, do I need to change this over to a different, like a C corp or something?
No, you don't want a C corp. No, C corp's horrible for small business. No,
Okay.
S corp or LLC is the way to go. I've moved away from S corps because of Tennessee law. I don't know New Mexico law, but LLCs are more favorably treated in Tennessee. S corps can get a franchise and excise tax in our state, so I don't do them anymore. I had an S corp at one time. I don't have any of them now. I only have LLCs now. But you can learn from a tax pro in your area there what you guys are facing in New Mexico. But you don't need to get in a C. A C is a nightmare. You get stuff trapped in there. I talked to a guy the other day. He's got $20 million trapped in a C and he can't get it out. It's a bad idea. So let's revisit. So 2.4 700 times 3 is 2.1 times 4 is 2.8. So if we call it 2.8, oh, wait a minute, that's the valuation of the whole stinking business. 600 is the whole profit. That's not half the profit.
Right.
So the whole business is worth 2.8. So half is going to be 1.4. You're going to pay him out in 2 years.
Right.
That's how you're going to, okay, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're only buying half of it. You already own half of it. So I did the math wrong. I'm sorry, I screwed up. But if you value it at 2.8 and you give them $700 a year for 2 years, they're done. And what I would do is just say, we're going to give you all of the. I wouldn't set a 700 figure. I'm going to say I'm going to give you 100% of profits after I make 100,000 salary until you hit your number. So then, if profits dipped, you're not in default.
Right.
They get 100% of profits until we get to, in my example here, 1.4. And I don't care what you settle on. You can settle on 1.4, 1.5. I don't care. But you get 100% of profits, and I'm gonna pay you monthly. You know, close your books once a month, and whatever the profits are, send them right over there. Do you have a calculation for retained earnings of any kind?
No. Well, not in front of me.
Okay. I mean, do you put money in retained earnings each month, or do you?
We don't necessarily put something in retained earnings, but we just make sure we have a generous operating account that we operate out of.
Well, that if you start closing this books monthly and you take 100% of the profits out, that's going to starve your funding of retained earnings if you don't have that built in the formula too. You follow me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I might say I'm going to pay you 90% of profits, and I'm going to put 10% in retained earnings, and I'm going to take $100K until we get to your number. So that gives you some slush for operating.
So the other night while we were having our meeting about this, I turned around and I asked my dad. I said, "So, what's your opinion on all this?" And this was when we were talking about the 4.1. And he said, "I'd just soon give it to you." And
well, what's he going to eat with in retirement then?
Well, they have a retirement fund that's funded, well-funded.
What's that mean? They got $20 million?
Well, 2.1.
Okay. So if he wants to give it to you, that's okay too? You got siblings?
I do. I have one sister.
All right. If he did that, it might be like you need to put a valuation on it for fairness.
Right.
So that reduces your part of the future estate by that much. You've gotten an advance on your inheritance, and so your portion of the estate would be reduced by the 1.4 or whatever it is. Okay, or I don't care if you call it 2. I don't care whatever y'all call it, but yeah, I would do that, and that's good. That means he's done a great job managing his life. What a great guy! That's awesome.
Yes,
that's what we're doing at Ramsey. Sharon and I are set. And 99% of our stock has already moved to the kids 10 years ago. It's in the Children's Trust now. I own 1% of Ramsey, and it's the only voting stock, so I'm still in control. So, and I'll transfer that whenever I want or on death. And Sharon gets nothing here. She's got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of other stuff, so she's fine. So, but the company itself has been operated for God, and the kids now operate it for God, or will when I'm gone, and the grandkids will too, and so on, because we've already set the whole thing in trust to where it will never be accessed by and destroyed by estate taxes. So, because we set that up 10, 15 years ago. So that's, in a sense, what we did. But we looked at it like God owns the company, I don't own it, and the best way for the company, for God's company to prosper, is for me to not saddle the next generation with debt. And so we built like your dad did, we built our own wealth on the side away from Ramsey, and that put us in a position to do all that. So your dad's cool. Right. I like it. I like that. That's very neat of him. And then if you do that, you just got to figure out how to make that equitable with your sister in the whole estate plan. And I would want to do that. I'd want to make sure all those I's were crossed, I's were dotted, T's were crossed. And I love that your dad is addressing all of this. How old is he?
He's 70.
Perfect. Wow.
So
he's very wise. One of the biggest things we fight is getting people to do this. And so you guys are addressing it. You're having very clear conversations, kind conversations. There's not a dysfunction, a bunch of greed. You guys are really stellar people, both of you. This is very neat.
We just don't want to get in a mess, you know.
Well, and you will if you don't do this.
If he dies tomorrow, or if he dies tomorrow, we're in a mess.
Yeah.
But so we're just trying to.
Well, either he gives it to you, or you buy him out over the next 2.5 years by giving him 90% of the profits and hold 10% back, and you live on 100.
Right. Okay.
That's a formula that'll work. And then profits go up, profits go down. Profits go up, you buy him out faster. Profits go down, you buy him out slower.
Right.
You guys are amazing. That's very well handled. Good work.